There's a magical forest near my home. I love taking my dog here for a walk when it's not too warm. My favorite time to go is in the spring or in the fall, but it's still magical even during the summer. Whenever we go here, I like to stop and just get lost imagining what could take place in this kind of a forest. Sometimes I imagine Winnie the Pooh and Piglet just peeking around the corner, or other times I imagine it being a fairy tale wood that changes at night. The elves come out, enchanted lights dapple the grass. I wanted to capture this feeling in this painting. I wanted to not just represent the woods that I see, but enchant it a little bit. I wanted to add some unusual textures to give it more of an ethereal feel, and I wanted to add fairy lights. Lately, I've been experimenting with finding my style. Up until this point, most of my paintings have been not photorealistic, but I've been trying to copy reference photos with watercolor, not letting watercolor be the medium that it is, not letting it be free, not expressing myself as freely as I might. I know some people create beautiful art this way, and that's wonderful, but for me, it wasn't leaving me satisfied with the pieces that I was making. And so I've decided to experiment not just with different techniques in watercolor, but creating different kinds of moods, picking different subjects, reimagining familiar subjects, subjects around my home, things that I can sketch on my walks with Bear or my hikes. Last one. I'm a bit of an old soul, and I often find myself feeling like I don't belong in the world in which I was born. I feel like I belong to an earlier time, and fantasy stories and fantasy art touch that part of me, and I'd love to experiment more with this kind of art. Reimagining a different kind of world, a world where I'd feel more at home. A world where we still see things as enchanted, that there's more to things than what we see immediately with our eyes, that we can touch with our hands. I confess that this piece didn't quite turn out like I envisioned. It wasn't as loose as I intended it to be. The background wasn't quite as textured or as abstract as I originally had planned, but I did learn some things. I tried some new techniques and learned ways that I can make them better and accentuate them even more, so that in the future, this style will stand out a little bit more from my other work. One of the things that I try with this piece, as you saw earlier, is using salt to add texture to the background. And I love the look of salt, but I don't think I used enough. I also think I should have used smaller granules of salt instead of hand ground. And I wish I had have put more pigment down and also splattered different colors to add some visual interest. But like I said, those are things that I learned for the next time, and I'll do even better with my next piece. I may actually try this same scene again. Another thing that I'd like to do is rework the lanterns a little bit. I'd like to use a much lighter color for the actual lantern to make them less prominent, so that the light is what's prominent, not so much the structure of the lantern. And I also want to kind of invert the way I did the light. I watched a video on doing light in this way, and I should have done a white spot in the middle and warmer, darker colors as it moved further away from the original light source. And as you can see, I did the opposite of that. So again, lesson learned, but I still really enjoyed making this piece, and I am interested in exploring this kind of artistic style and these different subjects and seeing ways that I can create art that actually reflects the emotions and the feelings that I want to create. One of my favorite things about learning watercolor and getting to play with it is finding myself enjoying the experimentation a lot more. I'm a perfectionist when it comes to my art, and that still comes through. I still get frustrated. I still throw away lots of pieces that I probably shouldn't. But I am learning to embrace the unpredictability of watercolor. I'm learning to use that to create new kinds of art, more expressive kinds of art. And I find that when I let myself experiment and let myself let go of the worry of making sure everything is perfect, I enjoy myself quite a bit more, and I usually am much more pleased with the end result. And even though this piece didn't turn out like I wanted, like I said, I did learn quite a bit, and I had fun doing it. It was fun experimenting. It was fun reimagining one of my favorite places in the world in this way, and I can't wait to do it again.